Buddhaṃ 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 Vande Dhammaṃ 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 Vande Sanghaṃ 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 Vande Buddhaṃ Dhammaṃ Sanghaṃ Vande. Homage to the Buddha, homage to the teachings of the Buddha, homage to the Sangha, the noble disciples of the Buddha, homage to the Triple Gem. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Venerable Sirs, monastics, friends in the Dhamma, again we meet with the Dhamma. This is our 4th day of the retreat, which is conducted by the City Sampana Monastery in Germany. In this session, we hope to discuss the gradual path of the Dhamma and also the dependent origination. Dhamma has an order, gradual path. And also when we go forward, we can see the highest doctrine in Buddhism, which is the dependent origination or causality. In this session, we hope to discuss this gradual path and the dependent origination as well. When we discuss this message, we can see some qualities in the mundane level. There are some qualities in the supramundane stage. Firstly, we should succeed our day-to-day activities, our common activities, mundane state. As human beings, we should succeed our this life and also hereafter. Very firstly, when we associate other people in the society, we should succeed our social background. That is very important. On the other side, we have to cultivate our spirituality, purifying our minds. When we discuss primary qualities among human beings, as we mentioned earlier, the very first one is that gratitude. That is very important. If we associate someone, firstly others look at us whether we are grateful. That is very important. Dhamma explains gratitude depends on the qualities. All the qualities depend on gratitude. The more we are grateful, the more we are generous. The more we are generous, the more we are grateful. As a result of gratitude and generosity, we meet good friends. Our friendship says that how much we are grateful and generous. If we come to the lower level of gratitude and generosity, we meet the same quality people. It doesn't mean that we meet face-to-face people. Dhamma means when we meet to Dhamma, directly we see the message. Sometimes we don't meet some people physically, but we meet the message through the new technology. That is very important. With good association, we gradually go forward. We see the Dhamma message and we practice Dana, Sila and Bhavana, generosity, virtue or 5 precepts, and also Bhavana, meditation, especially in this level, in the primary level, in the mundane state, we practice Metta Bhavana. Gradually we come to the end of the mundane state, which is equanimity or upekkha. That upekkha depends on the mundane state. However, it is so beneficial in our life for our inner peace. These are the qualities what we say belong to the mundane state in the primary state. Gratitude, generosity, virtue, metta bhavana, and finally upekkha depends on the conventional truth. These are the primary qualities we find when we go forward with human qualities. The more we have these qualities, the more we meet good friends. As a result of good association, we meet the highest message in this world. On the other side, when we meet good friends, immediately we listen to Dhamma. We receive the message. Through the good association, we can listen to Dhamma. Then through the Dhamma, we understand how we become the highest state of our spirituality. In this level, we can see the highest message. The Buddha explains, he who sees the Dhamma sees the Buddha. He who sees the Buddha sees the Dhamma. Understanding Dhamma is the way how we recognize who the Buddha is. Yo Dhammam passati, somam passati, somam passati, yo Dhammam passati. He who sees the Dhamma sees the Buddha. He who sees the Dhamma sees the Buddha. Even the Buddha has passed away, still we can say who the Buddha is. Through the Dhamma. Through listening Dhamma, through practicing Dhamma, through getting result through the Dhamma, we can understand who the Blessed One is. And also, on the other side, it is said that yo padissampadam passati, so dhammam passati, yo dhammam passati, so padissampadam passati. He who sees the dependent origination sees the Dhamma. He who sees the Dhamma sees the dependent origination. Understanding the dependent origination or causality, Patisampada is the direct way how we recognize what the Dhamma is. On the other side, understanding the dependent originations helps us to understand the Buddha. Until we understand the dependent origination or causality, we don't know who the Buddha is. Buddha is alive in our life, even though he has already passed away. Whenever we recognize the path, the dependent origination, the path of liberation. Therefore, understanding the dependent origination is very, very important. Okay, friends in the Dhamma, you are so fortunate. You are ready to end this year with the Dhamma. Not only that, you are getting ready to start your new year with the Dhamma. You end with the Dhamma, you start with the Dhamma. How fortunate. You are so fortunate. You are so lucky. In this very last day of the year, you get the highest benefit of this year if you can understand this message, at least in the primary stage. Okay, here we are going to explain this gradual path and especially the dependent origination. When we discuss this very important message, the dependent origination, we can see three facts which are interrelated. The dependent origination or Patisampada and Four Noble Truth, Arya Satya and Panchupadana Khanda, five aggregates. These three things are interrelated. The dependent origination, Four Noble Truths, and five aggregates. He who understands the dependent origination understands the Four Noble Truths and the five aggregates as well. The one who understands the Four Noble Truths understands the dependent origination and the five aggregates as well. He who understands the five aggregates understands the Four Noble Truths and the dependent origination as well. These three things, dependent origination or the causality, Four Noble Truths, and five aggregates are interrelated. These are the highest fundamental things, doctrines uttered by the Blessed One. If we can understand these three categories, three doctrines, actually we are so fortunate we can cultivate our correct vision where we are going to, where we reach finally. Okay, here especially we explain ignorance and wisdom. The Buddha says, suffering definitely comes to the person who are ignorant. Suffering never comes to the person who are wise. Suffering definitely comes to the person who are ignorant. Who is ignorant? Suffering never comes to the person who is wise and mindful. What is the ignorance? What is the wisdom? Whenever we contact something through our senses, if we think still there is a material world outside me, that is the nature of ignorance. For an example, if we eat something, if we enjoy something, if we think that I am enjoying something which is in the plate, that is ignorance. We usually live in this perception, in this view. When we drink something, when we eat something, we usually think that I am enjoying something which is outside. Similarly, whenever we experience in this moment in the outside world, we mostly think that I am enjoying something which is outside world. Because of this ignorance, we definitely depends on the material world. If our mind depends on the material world, it means we are controlled by the outside world. We are not safety, we have no refuge, no protection, no assurance. That is the nature of ignorance. What is the nature of wisdom? Whenever we understand something through our senses, if we can understand at this moment, whatever I say, it depends on what that has already ceased. Then my mind doesn't go to the outside world. Immediately I look at inside and I look at the causes of my experience which has already ceased. Then I don't depend on the outside world. I completely depend on my wisdom. At the same time, I am mindful in the present moment. If a person can live only one day with this understanding, it is better living 100 years without this understanding. That is the nature of wisdom. here explains the Patisampada and its ascending order and descending order. When we are ignorant, we are in the samsaric circle, avidya paccaya sankhara. With the arising of ignorance, mental formations arise. With the arising of mental formations, consciousness arises. With the arising of consciousness, mentality and corporeality arise. With the arising of mentality and corporeality, six senses arise. With the arising of six senses, the contact arises. Impression arises. With the arising of contact, clinging. With the arising of clinging, sensation arises. With the arising of sensation, craving arises. With the arising of craving, clinging arises. With the arising of clinging, we are in the process of becoming. We are ready to come back to the world. As the result of becoming, or the process of becoming, birth arises, rebirth arises. As the result of arising of birth, we have to face all the sufferings, decay, sickness, death, association with the unpleasant thing, departing from the beloved one, sorrow, lamentation, grief, despair, all the sufferings come to our life. Since we are in the samsaric circle based on ignorance, there are no stop signs in the middle. As soon as we look at something as there is something outside, we immediately come to the circle. That circle goes to until death and sorrow. In this level, we can do some good deeds. Even though we are ignorant, we can do some meritorious deeds. We can get some results. We can receive a blissful life. This perception, this ignorance sometimes doesn't belong to our blissful life. Having this understanding, we can practice generosity, we can practice 5 precepts, we can practice samadhi bhavana, but still we have ignorance. However, we have done good deeds, we will receive a blissful life hereafter. But the problem is we are not away from suffering. Whenever we take anything in the outside world as one hair, one small thing, it means we are not away from suffering. That is why Buddha explains the path of liberation. His main purpose was to point out the path of liberation with great compassion and wisdom. Whenever we understand the cessation of the world, whenever I contact something, I can contact something at the present moment. I can contact something through my senses. But when it comes to my understanding, the very first experience has already ceased. When some food is in the plate, that food is not delicious. When it comes to my world, that is the place where I am enjoying. Similarly, even though there is a world, until we contact it, we have no experience. even though we contact it, if we are wise and mindful, we can clearly understand the nature of this world. Then, as soon as we understand something, when we understand something, we have perception, we have understanding that I experience this world after the material world has completely ceased. Not only that, my present mind objects and mind consciousness also arises, they arise and cease at the moment according to the previous experience. That present mentality also arises and ceases at the moment. With this understanding, I don't depend on anything in the material world or even in the internal world based on my mind objects and mind consciousness too. This is the wisdom. As a result of this wisdom, avidya asiyasi viraga nirodha sankhara nirodho. Through the entire fading away and extinction of ignorance, mental formations cease. With the complete cessation of ignorance, mental formations based on ignorance cease. With the cessation of mental formations, consciousness based on ignorance ceases. So on, finally, with the cessation of becoming, birth ceases. When birth ceases, all other sufferings gradually cease. This is the descending order of the Patisampada or the Nirodha Satya, the noble truth of the cessation of suffering. Ascending order of the Patisampada explains the Samudaya Satya or the noble truth of the origin of suffering. Avidya paccaya sankhara, sankhara paccaya vijnanam, vijnana paccaya nama rupam. With the arising of ignorance, mental formations arise. With the arising of mental formations, then consciousness arises. This order says that Samudaya Satya, the origin of suffering, the noble truth of the origin of suffering. And also, when we are mindful and wise, avidya asiyasi viraga nirodha sankhara nirodho, sankhara nirodha vijnana nirodho, so on. With the complete cessation of ignorance, mental formations cease. With the cessation of mental formations, consciousness ceases. That descending order says the cessation of suffering, Nirodha Satya. When we understand the ascending order of Patisampada, we understand Samudaya Satya or the origin of suffering. Whenever we understand the descending order of the Patisampada, we understand Nirodha Satya, the cessation of suffering. When we see these both of orders, ascending order and descending order, by listening to Dhamma, we immediately come to the path that leads to getting rid of suffering, which is the Noble Eightfold Path. Here we understand some words, especially in these doctrines, we can understand some similar words. That is very important. Here we understand mental formations, sensations, consciousness, and contact, volition. We understand these words in this level. These words belong to Samudaya Satya or the origin of suffering. The very important thing. These words similarly can be seen in other stages too. Words are same, but the meanings are different. Everywhere we can see our mind or consciousness, sensation, contact, volition, sensations. Your understanding, your practice depends on understanding these words in 4 stages. In the first experience, as soon as we contact something in the primary experience, we can see these words, what they are. They are contact, sensation, volition, or mental formations, and consciousness. These words can be seen in the very primary experience, which belongs to Vipaka level, the results stage. But they are neither pleasant nor unpleasant. They are neither wholesome nor unwholesome. They are neutral. Even Arhantas have these mental states in this primary stage. We who are Pruthajjana or the worldly people, we also have the same thing. Seka persons who are on the practice, they also have these things. Not only that, even Arhantas have these same things. Those feelings, those mental states are neutral. They are neither pleasant nor unpleasant. They are neither wholesome nor unwholesome. That is just results of our previous actions. But after they cease, again we take them with ignorance as me, as myself. That is the cause of suffering. That is the origin of suffering. That belongs to the Samudaya Satya, the noble truth of the origin of suffering. Those things belong to Patisampada in its ascending order. All of them based on ignorance. After first experience has completely ceased, we take everything as it is now. For an example, when someone blamed you, as soon as that person meets us, what happens to us? We think that, this is the person who blamed me yesterday. Immediately we go to the previous experience. Not only we go to the previous experience, we live in the past. A person can blame you once. If you are ignorant, what happens to you? You are blamed again and again by your own perception. A person can blame you once. If a person can neglect you once, if we are ignorant, we are blamed again and again by our own perception at that moment. That person doesn't know. He has blamed and forgotten everything. But still we are in the past experience. Since we have taken everything in my bag. I am holding all the things. That person blamed me. That person did these things for me, for my children. All the things I am lifting, I am hanging. Not only we are lifting these things until our death, but even after death, we are bringing them to next birth too. That is the problem. This is the way how we are suffering. The main reason is that ignorance. That means after something has completely ceased, we think still it is happening. That is why we are suffering, because of our ignorance. These words, Vedana, Sanya, Chetana, Passa, Manasikara, or Vedana, Sanya, Sankhara, Vijnana, in various words we can see in Pali terms. Sensation, perception, mental formations, volition, consciousness. These words can be seen in the very primary stage, in the vipaka stage level, and also again we take them in the new karma stage, in the samudaya satya, the origin of suffering. Then we are in the Patissampada circle. We are in the samsaric circle. We are suffering. Then we understand this reality through the association of good friends. When we listen to Dhamma, we understand in this process. Then we understand whenever we can overcome ignorance, we can overcome volition, consciousness, mentality and corporeality, six senses, contact, feelings, craving, clinging, becoming, rebirth, and other sufferings too. We can come to the descending order. We can gradually overcome this circle based on mindfulness and wisdom. Here, after we listen to this message, we gradually go forward. This has a gradual path. The Dhamma has a path like the ocean. The ocean or the sea gradually deepens from the beach to the deeper water. Our practice is also like that. We associate good friends, then we listen to Dhamma, we understand this suffering and its cessation, and we come to confidence in this message. Saddha. Saddha or confidence is the main thing that directly helps us to overcome this suffering. Buddhism always emphasizes the importance of having saddha or confidence. Saddha molika sabbepi kusala dhamma. Confidence in this message is the foundation of all the wholesome activities. All the spiritual faculties depend on confidence. All the primary qualities in the mundane stage depends on gratitude. All the good qualities in our good karma in the mundane state depend on gratitude. And also when we come to the spiritual practice, all the spiritual faculties depend on what? saddha or confidence. What is the confidence? When we listen to Dhamma, we have a faith, confidence. This is the correct path. This is the direct path. If I want to overcome suffering, this is the true path. No other option. If we haven't confidence in this level, we can go to the path. If this Dhamma understand come to our confidence, then this knowledge comes to 𝒮𝓃 ℒ𝒶𝓃𝓀𝒶, the wisdom of hearing. Then we are confident in this message. We think that this understanding directly helps me to go forward, and it helps me to overcome suffering completely. Then we do all the activities giving the priority for this understanding. No matter whatever we do, from morning to night, we do everything keeping our confidence in this message. Whenever we are ignorant, we are samsaric circle, we are suffering. Whenever we are mindful and wise, we can overcome this suffering, then we can attain the liberation. Whenever, wherever you are going, you always think in the place where you are going to. When you go to Berlin, you think again and again. Berlin is in your memory, mind. That is your dream. When you are coming here, you are imagining the place. Monasteries like this, our venerable sirs, other people are like this. I may have a good room there. If I go earlier, then I may have a good place. You are imagining that thing, you came here. From your home to here, on the way, you are imagining, you are thinking this place. And also you may be thinking, I will have very delicious food too. Thinking thus, you are coming here, you came here. Along the way, you are thinking this place. When we enter our spiritual path, always we are thinking our final destination, our liberation, our enlightenment. What is that? Releasing from the material world and also releasing from even mental formations too. Whenever we take material world or persons or mental formations as me, as myself, this is the suffering, this is the cause of suffering. Therefore, I want to release from this world. This is our spiritual dream. This is our address. This is our destination. Having this understanding in our heart, in our mind, always we do all the things. If you go to your workplace, you are thinking it. If you go to your college, your university, shopping mall, supermarket, no matter wherever you go, always you have this understanding. Whenever I think this is here, when this is going to destroy, I have to suffer. But I have clear understanding about this reality. I can enjoy this flower, but I don't depend on it. I can clean it. I can water it. I can help this plant. Having this experience, I can overcome suffering. Doing your all activities at home, feeding your children, helping your parents, studying your subjects, doing your jobs, you can go forward on this path. That is why this Dhamma is very practicable. This is a practical message. Not only that, anyone who are in this world, they can practice it. This is a very peaceful message. Here there are no big rules. There are some disciplines here, but no punishment, no big rules, no disturbance. Doing our day-to-day activities peacefully and correctly, gradually, we can go forward on this path little by little. When we start our spiritual journey, immediately we can see the results. When we have this understanding, right understanding, Sammaditthi, immediately we come to right intention. What is right intention? Nekkhamma sankappa. Little by little, we overcome sensual pleasure because now we are enjoying by cultivating, purifying, developing our mind. Then our competition about the sensual pleasure gradually reduces. Nekkhamma sankappa. Here we practice generosity too. And avyapada sankappa, we overcome gradually anger by practicing metta bhavana. And also we overcome cruelty because we practice compassion. Having those positive thoughts in our minds and hearts, we gradually go forward. Samma vacha, right speech. Whatever we speak, we never disturb others. We speak pleasant, beautiful words. We never hurt anyone with our words, by our speech. Right action. We do all the physical activities with good awareness. We never hurt or disturb anyone through our physical body. Since now we have a very special spiritual goal. We are dreaming our spiritual goal and its destination. We have a very highest goal, very spiritual goal. For an example, when you go to a place by a plane, when you are in the plane, you are so disciplined. You don't do bad things. You don't shout. You don't disturb others. You don't hit other people. In a very small seat, you are very disciplined. Like you are in the bhavana hall. You are in the plane. If you receive something, some food or drink, it is okay. You take it. If they don't do, it is okay. You are very silent in the plane. Why is that? You have a dream. You are going to another country. You are going to your home. You are going to visit your parents. You have paid a lot of money for the ticket. You can't do any other things. That is why you are so disciplined in the plane. Similarly, when we have this spiritual map, address or dream, we have discipline in our speech and behavior. Not only we will be happy in the destination, but even as soon as we start our spiritual journey, at the present moment, we start our happy life. Practicing Dhamma is the way how to live happily and peacefully. and right livelihood. When we do our jobs, when we earn money, we earn every cent righteously and honestly, not disturbing our spiritual goal. Now we have a very special higher goal for our highest happiness or contentment. Having this spiritual dream, we do all the jobs righteously, honestly, and correctly. We don't disturb our spiritual path by earning money. No matter we earn a lot of money or begging money, we earn every cent, every euro with honesty and with the Dhamma. Since we have a spiritual goal, that is right livelihood and right effort, we do all the activities, physical, verbal and mental, in order to overcome evil and unwholesome things, and also in order to cultivate good deeds, wholesome deeds. That is our effort, right effort. And also, next, we come to our best friend, which is right mindfulness. Here, we are aware of our body and mind. We do all the activities thinking our goal and also being aware of our body and mind. When we practice mindfulness again and again, we can gradually attain samadhi or concentration. Whether we receive or not concentration, in mindfulness, we are aware of our body and mind. Sometimes we come to concentration through practicing insight meditation. Before the highest level of samadhi, sometimes we come to insight meditation, vipassana pubbangama samatha. We come to concentration through practicing insight meditation. That is another way on the path of liberation. The gradual path is that sila, samadhi, panya. Firstly, discipline in speech and behavior, then concentration. When mind gains concentration, we reflect on impermanence. That is the gradual path. But there are some options. If you are a gifted person, you can directly come to the samadhi or concentration through practicing insight meditation. By reflecting on impermanence of five aggregates or mentality and cooperative or senses, we can come to concentration samadhi. That means vipassana pubbangama samatha. Concentration based on insight meditation. However, when we practice mindfulness, we are aware of our body and speech. Whatever we do from morning to evening, in four postures, working, walking, standing, sitting, and lying down, we do everything mindfully with the awareness of our body. Even our breathing, we do with mindfulness. That is mindful breathing. Mindful body posture, mindful activities, mindful of body parts and mindfulness of the dead body, mindfulness of four fundamental elements. These are the parts that we reflect on when we practice mindfulness in body. Not only we focus our mind in this physical body, but we reflect on the arising and ceasing of this physical body. This physical body, my activities, my speech, my breathing, four fundamental elements are based on the food and nutriments that I take through my mouth. Because of nutriments of food, craving, previous karmic energy, and ignorance. Because of these, some causes and conditions, I have this physical body, but every moment this body arises and ceases when some causes cease. This is the way how we practice 𝒮𝓾 ℒ𝒶𝓃 ℒ𝒶, the contemplation of our physical body. Then we gradually go forward, Vedanas, Vedanupassī viharati, the contemplation of feelings or sensation. We receive some sensations through six senses, through our eye, nose, our tongue, body. These are the senses and mind that we receive sensations. Through these spheres, I receive six sensations: eye sensation, ear sensation, nose sensation, body sensations, so on. Now we are aware of our sensations or feelings. When we have pleasant sensations, we understand them. When we have unpleasant sensations, we also that too. If we have neutral sensations, we also that sensations too. But we understand this sensation arises because of some conditions and causes. When those causes cease, this sensation also ceases. This present sensation is not permanent. When your body is uncomfortable or painful, when you change your posture, what happens to your painful sensations? It ceased. It fallen. This sensation is not permanent. Because of some conditions and causes, it arises. As the result of the cessation of conditions, this sensation also ceases. We understand the cause and effect of the sensation. When I explain something very pleasantly and peacefully, you are very pleasant or neutral. If I do some speech with bad words, what happens to you? Immediately your sensation changes. That is the nature of the impermanence of sensations. If we have this understanding about the impermanence of sensation, we don't take any sensation as me, as myself, as permanent. we understand the cause and effect of the sensation and impermanence, selflessness, and unsatisfactoriness. You always understand the sensation is impermanent, it arises in and ceases in every moment. Even we receive some samadhi sensations, that is also impermanent. But don't misunderstand. Impermanence isn't impermanent. We don't contemplate on that. Understanding impermanence isn't impermanent. In that way, we don't think. That is the way we have gone. However, with this understanding of sensation, we come to next level, which is 𝒮𝓃 ℒ𝒶𝓃𝓀𝒶 viharati, the contemplation of consciousness, our mirror. Now we are going to washroom, looking at the glass or mirror. We are in front of the mirror. Now you can see the most beautiful person in the world. Now you laugh, you smile. Here with the Chittanupassana, you don't understand not only your physical body, but you understand your mind. What happens to my mind at this moment? Whether my mind is greedy or not greedy. Whether my mind is lustful or not. Whether my mind is angry or not angry. Whether my mind is ignorant or not ignorant. Whether my mind is concentrated or not concentrated. Finally, we understand whether my mind is liberated from suffering or not. This is the very important place what we reflect on. This is the place where we can check who I am. We don't need any recommendation from other people. We don't need any certificate from others that I am a good person. Now we know who I am. We write down our character certification. Who I am. Who I am at this moment. Don't worry. Not your entire period of life from birth to now. Birth to your death. At this moment, who I am. Every second, every moment, we write down our certificate, our character certificate. Firstly, we can overcome lust, greed, and anger easily. That is not difficult. Now all of you are very peaceful. Your mind has no greed, no lust, no anger, no ill will. Already you have overcome those negative thoughts from your mind. But still we have ignorance. That is the thing that we are searching, whether I have. How do we know whether I am ignorant or not? Whenever we think something, if we think that there is something outside, no matter whether you are opening or closing your eyes, if you think there is something outside, that is the sign of ignorance. But it doesn't mean that there is no material world. Actually, there is a material world consists with the four fundamental elements: earth element, water element, fire element, and air element. Solidity, fluidity, heat, and motion. With these four fundamental elements, there is a material world. That material world is not permanent. That material is not same for everyone. That material world is different from person to person. That material is different from moment to moment. At this moment, these are walls for my world. At this moment, if I gain some psychic energy, divine I, what happens to these walls? We can see through the wall. If at this moment, if we can create psychic energy, divine I, through the walls, at this moment we can see. This is the nature of the world. We experience world not only according to the external world, according to our senses. This person is a Dhamma friend for me. If a mother is here, this is daughter. If a sibling, brother or sister is here, this is my younger sister or elder sister. If there is a cruel animal here, lion or someone, what is this? This is the lunch. This is lion's meal, diet, lunch. He is so happy, I have a very good lunch. This external world depends on our senses, eye, ear, nose, like that. These senses depends on our present mind condition. According to our mental situation at the moment, every moment we create the world. Every moment we create the senses. According to our senses, we experience the world. Impermanence means always it arises and ceases. And also not only that, that can be understood by other religious people too, sometimes. But the very important thing, what Buddhism says, no matter whether I contact lion, lady, girl, mom, father, bird, flower, no matter whatever we experience, whether it is a human being or non-human being or material thing or jewel or anything, what is the most important thing? Even though I contact something at the moment, I can never recognize it in the present moment, depending on the material world. I always understand this flower as a flower when the first experience has completely ceased. I understand the world after the cessation of the material world completely. That is the very important thing, what Buddhism realizes, what Buddhism explains. Always we recognize something after the first experience, the material world has ceased. We recognize everything through our mind consciousness. That is said in Buddhism, sabbe dhamma mano viññāna dhatuya viññeya. All things should be understood through mind consciousness. We recognize all things through mind consciousness. We can recognize something completely through our five senses, such as eye consciousness, nose consciousness, ear consciousness, so on. In this way, we can understand whether I am in the suffering or in the samsaric circle or away from samsaric circle. With this understanding, we can understand whether I am in the samudaya satya, the origin of suffering, or whether I am in the cessation of suffering, nirodha satya, or whether I am in the magga satya, or the path that leads to getting rid of suffering. If a person is ignorant, he depends on the world, that is samudaya satya, in the samsaric circle. If someone has completely eradicated his ignorance, as soon as he looks at something, he has understood the material world has completely ceased. He sees the world as empty. He is in the nirodha satya, the cessation of suffering. Like we people, we are in the magga satya, we are reflecting on impermanence. Arising, ceasing, arising, ceasing, arising, ceasing. We are gradually going away from the samsaric circle of suffering. This is the place where we can check whether I am ignorant or not. Samohang va cittang, samohang cittanti pajanati, vitamohang va cittam, vitamohang cittanti pajanati. With this understanding, we gradually come to next stage, that vimuttang va cittang, vimuttan cittanti pajanati, avimuttang va cittang, avimuttan cittanti pajanati. Whenever our mind is with the material world, it means we have no liberation. Our mind is not liberated. Whenever our mind has released from the material world and our mental formations as well, we have liberation. Our mind is liberated from ignorance, liberated from the suffering. Every moment we spend liberating from suffering whenever we practice mindfulness based on the Noble Eightfold Path. Then we meet our fearless path, direct path, our spiritual map, our very peaceful street, very peaceful step, footpath, which is the Noble Eightfold Path. Going forward on the path of the Noble Eightfold Path, always we are mindful, especially we practice the contemplation of consciousness. That is our real reflection. It is more important. Next we come to Dhammesu Dhammanupassī Vihārati. We are contemplating on mental formations. When mind has hindrances such as sensual pleasure, ill will, sloth and torpor, restlessness and worry, skeptical doubts, we understand now my mind has those negative thoughts, hindrances. Whenever those negative thoughts are not in my mind, I understand now my mind is free from these negativities. And also, if again those thoughts come to my mind, I recognize it. When those mental formations don't come to my mind, I also that thing too. This is the understanding of the 5 hindrances. Next, we go into the 5 aggregates. Our real heritage, our real treasure. Even though we think I have a lot of things, I have a car, I have a certificate, I have a house, I have my children, I have my siblings, my parents, I have very beautiful clothes, I have a very smart phone. Even though you think you have a lot of things, all things are like the iceberg, which we can see in the upper level. What is the bottom level of iceberg? 5 aggregates. Under the water, we can see a lot of space of iceberg. We can see only few things over the water. Below in the water, there are a lot of space. When we see something, when we hear something, when we smell something, when we enjoy something through eating, our entire life is that 5 aggregates: Rupa, Vedana, Sanya, Sankhara, Vijnana. In this level, we understand how these 5 aggregates arise and cease. Always we reflect on arising, ceasing, arising, ceasing of these 5 aggregates. Whatever we see, whatever we hear, whatever we smell, whatever we eat, whatever we remember, whatever I understand, every moment these 5 things arise and cease. Besides these 5 aggregates, we don't have anything. Our entire life is that, these 5 aggregates. The nature of these 5 aggregates is that arising and ceasing every moment. With the conditions, when conditions or causes arise, these 5 things arise. When those conditions cease, without remaining anything, these 5 aggregates also cease. In this Dhammanupassana, we understand our entire life is that these 5 aggregates, not only that, every moment these 5 aggregates arise and cease. Next, we come to our real treasure that we have earned through practicing Dhamma, through practicing the 4 mindfulnesses. What is your earnings? What is your earning of your spiritual effort, spiritual path? The 7 enlightenment factors. Sati Sambojjhanga, the enlightenment factor of mindfulness. Dhammavicaya Sambojjhanga, the enlightenment factor of investigation. Virya Sambojjhanga, the enlightenment factor of energy. Piti Sambojjhanga, the enlightenment factor of rapture. Passadi Sambodhyanga, the enlightenment factor of tranquility. Samadhi Sambodhyanga, the enlightenment factor of concentration. And seventh one, the enlightenment factor of equanimity. These are your spiritual gains, spiritual properties that you earned through practicing fourfold mindfulnesses. Our life is filled with these spiritual gifts. These are not just spiritual faculties, enlightenment faculties, but they are the spiritual gifts that you have earned through practicing mindfulness. Then our mind is filled with spiritual happiness. We are playing with these gifts. We enjoy with these 7 things. Mindfulness, investigation, energy, rapture, happiness, concentration, equanimity. These are the enlightenment factors that we earned. These are the most valuable earnings that you have already earned through practicing fourfold mindfulnesses. With this understanding, next we come to our senses. We have 6 internal senses, 6 external objects. Every moment these things arise senses, we understand those things too. And finally we understand again the Four Noble Truths. Now we really perfectly recognize what the Noble Truth of suffering is, what the origin of suffering is, what is the cessation of suffering is, what is the path that leads to suffering is. With the concentrated mind, with the wise mind based on mindfulness, now firstly we know the Dhamma. Firstly we knew the Dhamma. Now we see the Dhamma. Firstly we know the address where we are going to. Now you have come to the destination. Now you see the address. Wow, this is the city. This is the street. This is the house number. Now we have reached the destination. Firstly, we listening to Four Noble Truths through associating with the good friends. According to the Four Noble Truths, we came to the destination. End of the destination, again we confirm that whether my address is okay. Now we understand this is suffering that I have already realized. This is the origin of suffering that I have already overcome. This is the cessation of suffering that I have already achieved. This is the path that leads to suffering, what I have already practiced. I have completed all the things on my spiritual path. Now I am perfect. Then I know that we are free. After that, we completely dedicate our life for the well-being of other people. we have no any desire. Until our death, we dedicate our entire life for the well-being for the happiness of other beings in this world. We preach Dhamma, we publish Dhamma, we protect Dhamma, we help all other people who are practicing, who are protecting, who are bringing this message for the new generation, future generation. As the result of this path, we have very special results. When we understand something, when we see something, no matter whether they are pleasant or unpleasant, no matter whether they are beautiful or not, we can associate them as we like. If someone should wish to live perceiving the unrepulsive in the repulsive, he can do it. If a person wants to live perceiving unrepulsive in the repulsive, he can live like that. If a person wants to live perceiving the unrepulsive in the repulsive and unrepulsive, he can live like that. If a person wants to live perceiving the repulsive in the unrepulsive and repulsive, he can live like that. If a person wants to live equanimously, in equanimity, avoiding the repulsive and unrepulsive, beauty and ugly, purity or impurity, he can live equanimously. In short, when you see some beautiful thing, if you want to see it as not beautiful or ugly or unpleasant, you can think like that. When you see some ugly thing, if you want to reflect on it as beautiful or very pleasant, you can think like that. If you want to live equanimously, avoiding beauty and ugly, pleasant or unpleasant, you can live as you like. You can live equanimously. Then, whatever that comes to our life, we accept everything with a pleasant mind, no matter whatever I receive. Then finally, we live equanimously, we come to equanimity. If we can perceive this vision according to the Dhamma, if we can associate the world as we like, why do we need to change the world? Until we come to this understanding, always we decorate the world, we clean the world, we beautify the world, we arrange the world. Again and again we do. From morning to evening, from birth to death, in 4 postures, always we do the thing, cleaning, preparing, adjusting, doing everything in the external world. But finally, when we come to this understanding, without changing anything in the external world, just changing our perception, we do only thing, the perception, changing our perception. If someone blames us, if we can think, this person is not blaming me, he is appreciating me. And also, he is not blaming for me, but he is blaming for my enemy. Then I have no suffering. It doesn't mean that we are going away from the reality. Actually, we face the reality. When someone blames us, we can understand if there is any reason that he is blaming me. I can recognize it. It's not a problem. If I have a mistake, I correct it. But we don't come to suffering. We always see the world with wisdom, with mindfulness. This is the path of liberation. Every moment, if we like, we can enjoy the world. But finally, we come to equanimity, upekkha. We understand happiness is also very impermanent. It can be changed. Finally, very important mental state is that equanimity. That equanimity is also impermanent, but it is sure. But we mostly live in this reality. But when we always reflect on impermanence, we can continue this results equanimity. Okay, dear Dhamma friends, we discussed the gradual path in the mundane state level, mundane level, and also supramundane level. In the mundane level practice, we start gratitude. With a grateful heart, we are generous, associating good friends, practicing generosity, practicing 5 precepts. Through loving kindness meditation, we come to equanimity in the mundane level with the understanding of the karmic energy. In the supramundane level, with the association of good friends, we listen to Dhamma, we trust in this message. Trust or confidence in the Dhamma is the foundation of all the spiritual faculties, all the wholesome activities. Saddha molika sabbepi kusala Dhamma. Saddha or confidence in the Dhamma is the foundation of all the spiritual faculties, all the wholesome activities, all the wholesome deeds. Through Saddha, we come to the Noble Eightfold Path, practicing right mindfulness, right intention, right speech, right action, right livelihood, right effort. Through right mindfulness, we come to right understanding, right concentration. Finally, when mind gains concentration, samahito 𝐵𝐻𝐸 𝐵𝐻𝑢 yatha bhutam pajanati. When mind gradually gains concentration, we reflect on the reality as it is. 3 characteristics: anicca, impermanence, arising and ceasing; dukkha, or suffering or unsatisfactoriness; and anatta, selflessness. These are the highest reflections. Through this reflection, we perfectly understand the Four Noble Truths. As a result of practicing and gaining results of the Noble Eightfold Path, we come to upekkha or equanimity. We make a mind that helps us to live equanimously. For that, again and again, we should come to this Dhamma, we should live with this Dhamma. Then Dhamma and our life is not separated. Now we think that Dhamma is there. Dhamma is in the monastery, not everywhere, only in the meditation hall. In the meditation hall is the Dhamma, then outside in the kitchen we can do anything. No. Little by little, we come to the Dhamma, we are near to the Dhamma, then every moment we are with the Dhamma. We put every step with the Dhamma. We breathe every breath, we breathe every breath in and out with the Dhamma. Then Dhamma and I are together. Dhamma is completely mindful breathing and reflecting on impermanence. Then in 4 forces, from morning to evening, every moment, we are with the Dhamma. We are on the street of Dhamma. Then no matter where we are going to, that is Dhamma street, mindful street. Then wherever you are sitting, that is a sitting seat. Wherever you walk, that is a walking meditation path, footpath. Wherever you live, that is a meditation center, that is a meditation room. Whatever you speak, that is a Dhamma talk. Whenever you are silent, that is not just silent, that is the noble silence, reflecting on Dhamma. However you behave, that is your 𝐾𝐻 the contemplation of your body. Whatever feelings or sensations you have, that is your contemplation of your feelings or sensations. Whatever your mind is, that is 𝒮𝓃 the contemplation of consciousness. Whatever your volitions, that is Dhammanupassana. Our life and Dhamma come to same. Okay? Have any question? Yes?
I've been thinking or reflecting about selflessness, and when I'm meditating, it all makes, or I feel it makes sense, but when I'm walking through daily life, I'm having trouble integrating. There's a lot of resistance within me towards myself and towards approaching others. I don't know how to, because we're all approaching with names and we're working with the construct of self. So how do I work with that in the world that knows the construct of time?
When we talk about self, it can be divided into in the first step and the other step too. In the first step, we can see as 𝑠َක්කාය දිට්ඨි. 𝑠َක්කාය දිට්ඨි means wrong view. Wrong view means we think that the form is mine, the feelings are mine, sensation is mine, consciousness is mine. 5 aggregates. According to 5 aggregates, we think these things are mine, me, myself. Especially, we take these things as myself. When we have body, this is form, we think that this is my body, I depend on this body. If I have a pain, painful or peaceful pain or neutral pain, we think that this pain is mine, I depend on this pain. When we have a consciousness or mind, we think this is my mind, I depend on my mind, I am not away from my mind. When we have mental formations, we think that these mental formations are mine, I depend on these mental formations. When we are going to overcome wrong view, self-view in the primary stage, we overcome this misunderstanding. When we reflect on impermanence of five aggregates again and again, our misunderstanding of the five aggregates gradually reduces. What is that? We don't think when we see a rupa or form, that is not mine, that is not myself, I am not depend on this form. We gradually think. That is the primary stage, self-view or own view. Even though we reduce this wrong view or Sakkaya Ditthi, again we have some kind of view, self. I think that I am here. Even though I am not form, I am not sensations, I am not consciousness, I am not contact, I am not mental formations, but I am here. There is some person who I am. That is mana or asmimana. When these things are together, we think, this is I am. Dhamma explained an example. When we see a very beautiful, good smell flower, like lotus flower. When we have a good smell, we don't think that the good smell doesn't come from the leaves, from other parts of the flower. This good smell doesn't belong to any other parts, but this smell belongs to the whole flower, we think. Even though I am not my form, feelings, perception, mental formations or consciousness, when those things are together, I am here. That will be removed when we attain enlightenment. The very first wrong view can be eradicated when we become the first step of spirituality or Sotapanna, the stream entry. But the second step, that conceit or the asmimana, should be eradicated. It will eradicate when we attain enlightenment. Until we come to the final destination, we have that there is someone. That is the nature of our life. Even anagami person, there is a very beautiful discourse you can read in Google. Its name is 𝒮𝓾, the 𝒮𝓾 Sutta, the discourse of 𝒮𝓾. All the examples are there. When you read that discourse, you can understand. Okay, little by little, we overcome this thing. Until our destination, we should have that mana or conceit. Having that mana, we practice this pattern. If we don't have mana, actually we can't attain enlightenment. Until the nearest place of the enlightenment, we need conceit, that we need that there is a person here. That is why we practice Dhamma. If you don't have that view, actually you don't need to practice Dhamma. Why? You have already attained enlightenment. Because we have this view, this self, why we practice Dhamma. That is why we are unsatisfied. As soon as we overcome this view, we are satisfied. We don't know, I don't have to do anything. I am completed. I am perfect. Dhamma explains as it, Mana Nissaya Manam Pahatabbam. Mana Nissaya Manam Pahatabbam. We have to overcome this conceit or this view that self, that I am here because of this view. I have desire. In order to overcome this self, because already we have it. Okay, please read that discourse. You can read a lot of things. They are very interesting things. That is the place where last days I explained you that the 60 monks attain enlightenment when a monk preached Dhamma. When a monk was preaching Dhamma, who was Anagami, not returning, while he was preaching Dhamma, 60 monks attain enlightenment. At the same time, the monk who preached Dhamma also attain enlightenment. Yes, we can read it. 𝒮𝓾 ℒ𝒶𝓃. I think it is in 𝒮𝓇𝒾 ℒ𝒶𝓃. In Pali, we can read it. Yes, actually, in English also you can read it. We can get a translation. I think we can take. In translation, sometimes it has the short form. Then we don't have the very entire story. We can read sometimes. Any other question? Okay, thank you for your good attention and participation. We really appreciate your dedication and your help for this retreat. Your participation beautified this program. Because of you, this program was successful. We really appreciate your participation and helping for this program. Okay, by the power of this spirituality that we accrue through these activities and wholesome deeds and listening to Dhamma, practicing Dhamma, meditating, we acquired a lot of positive energy in our minds. By the power of this spirituality, may you be well, happy and peaceful. May all your spiritual and educational goals meet with success. Finally, may all of us attain the supreme bliss of liberation. Dukkhaṃ pantāca nirdukkhaṃ, bhayaṃ pantāca nirbhayaṃ, sokam pantāca nissokāṃ, hontu sabbe pipānino. May all beings be well, happy and peaceful. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.